Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for watching. Please click the like button and subscribe button. And so today's video, I am going to show you just basically one hand, just pushing back the cuticles. She had a little bit of some cuticles, and try not to be too rough because you can cut your client. This one, she does bite around her cuticle area, so I'm just going in nice and smooth, just going in with the sanding band. You don't need too much, just enough to take off the natural shine, so that way when you apply your acrylic it has something to adhere to and you don't get any lifting. But also you want to make sure that you do get all of the skin that was left on the nail plate off. And so that's what I'm just doing right here, making sure that I'm going in and taking off the natural shine. And I'm only going to show you one hand because again, I don't want this video to be long, and everything will be linked down in the description box below. And then I'm just going in with my cuticle nippers and clipping her cuticles. Again, it's just going to be what's white, because anything else is living skin and you do not want to cause your client to bleed. And then you'll also know, like when doing clients, some of them are more prone to bleed than others, depending on the skin type that you see. So because she had been biting her cuticle areas, hers are more prone to bleed than a regular client. And now I'm just going to be gluing on my tips. She did want coffin short, so I'm just making sure that the tips fit from sidewall to sidewall, and then just placing those down. So I will get back to y'all when I'm done placing the tips. So after I finish cutting them down to the size that she wants, I go in just around just those edges where it meets on the sides. I like to do it just on the sides only because when you're doing the application of the side, you're less likely to see it and you're more likely to have a better application when you do like how I did and focus on the sides. And then she again wanted coffin, so I'm just going in with the nail clippers, clipping those sides, making sure that it'll just help shape the nails a lot faster than sitting there and hand filing. When I know you want to take your time with your client, but again, time is money, so you want to make it as fast as you can without rushing on certain steps of your service. So here I'm just making sure that I get a nice crisp shape. If you do this at the beginning, you're not gonna have to file as much at the end. So just taking the time to prep your nails is going to be key to making sure that it does not take you forever in a day to do their nails. And then I'm just going in with the C&D primer on her hand, making sure that I don't get in any of those cuts that she already had from pulling her skin, because it will burn. And then also with the Young Nails Protein Bond. So I'm just going in with the Igel Beauty satin ribbon, I believe, and this one will be an ombre, so I don't need to go the full nail. And you want to make sure that you apply a thin layer when you're doing an ombre, because again, you have to go in with a second color to blend that naturally. And then you also kind of want to seal it in clear acrylic. When you do seal it in the clear acrylic, if you're not best at doing ombres, the clear will hide your imperfections, and it'll make for an easier blend, an easier transition. So as you can see, I'm really fussing with the brown, only because it doesn't mix very well. So you'll just see me messing around with it because I want to make sure that it's all one color, not two separate colors. And then you also want to make sure that you can't see through the nail, because you'll spend most of your time trying to put another color on top, trying to blend it through, and you don't want to do that. So just take your time if you're new. Ombres are a little rough, but once you get the hang of it, it'll be no problem for you. As you can see, I'm just really trying to mess with this brown because the color doesn't really blend well, and I'm not trying to add so much to it, so every time I move it, it goes in different places. So here I did make a mistake. I was just trying a different nude, and I didn't like how it blended in with the brown. It kind of just was washed out. It just blended. The two colors were similar. So I left that in there so that way y'all could see, okay, well, dang, all right, I really didn't like that color. And you can see me trying to look at it and just like, okay, well, maybe if I put another bead, yeah, no, still not working. So I go in and I change the color of a acrylic. And with this one, you want to make sure that it's on the drier side, because again, it can flood, things like that, flood the cuticle. And I'm just making sure that I work around the cuticle first and then blending that down. If you push too hard, all of your product will move and you'll be able to see the light brown that's underneath there. So you just kind of want to make sure, and then it's okay if you don't get it all in one bead. I don't get it all in one bead. And I'm just making sure that my cuticle area is nice and smooth. I go in with another bead, blend that down a little bit. I think I even go in with another bead because it just was not blending the way I wanted it to. So don't be afraid to keep going. If not, you can always take off product, and you can always add product. So it's not the end of the world if you mess up. As you can see, this bead was a little too runny. I'm about to just chase it into the cuticle area. It just flowed right into it. But it's okay, you can fix that when you're filing, and as long as it's still wet, you're able to maneuver it and things like that. So I'm just gonna let you finish watching what I'm doing, and I'll be back. going in with the clear acrylic just to blend it so that way it doesn't look so and you have a smoother transition from the nude to the brown. And so here I'm not too worried about getting it to the cuticle area because I had already worked on my cuticle area when I did the nude. And around the cuticle area, you don't want it too thick because that can cause lifting, and you kind of just want the clear to give you strength and to build up your apex. So I'm not really too worried about the cuticle area right now. That's why the middle finger is just a little and I just want to make sure that everything is even on the top of the nails. So as you can see, I don't even go all the way down to the cuticle area because at this point, like, I've already built where the cuticle area is. I'm just worried about the tip and the apex and the integrity of the nail, making sure that I have the thickness so that way if she does run into anything, your nails aren't just gonna break in the middle. So now I'm going to show you here where I'm taking off this acrylic that I did not like the way it blended. And so this is I want to say it's the 4-time coarse bit by Pana. It is a safety bit. And this is how I mostly debulk most of my product with this bit. So I'm just going, I don't have to go all the way again to the natural nail because it was nude and I'm going in with nude. I just need it to be enough so when I blend it, it's fine. So as you can see, I'm gonna go in with a smaller bead because it is the pinky, and I'm just gonna place it, tap, 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 making sure that I just slowly bring it down to blend in. Because I filed, I didn't have such a smooth transition. So you can kind of see there's a little bump in there. That's fine. Just do the best you can. So I'm gonna go in with another bump with another bead to fill in that bump. You see me just trying to smooth it out, just trying. But again, like if you have something like that, you throw some clear acrylic on there and it'll fix all of that. At the end of it, you couldn't even tell that that bump was there. Yeah, I'm just going in, making sure that we at least keep some of the shape of the nail. And then I like to just take off my excess acrylic like that, making sure that we're still staying within the shape. And now I'm going in with my hand file. I'm not too sure what grit this one is. I buy multiple ones just depending on how much I do have to file. So these I really didn't have to file too much. So I'm just making sure that her natural nail with the tip blends in and that it's straight. She didn't want any curvy nails, so we don't need curves on there. And your nails should never have hips, so we want to make sure that it is a smooth line from right there where the skin is, where the extended nail and the nail tip meet. And so I'm just going in, making sure. Move your client's hand around, move the file around to get to get into the places that you need to get those crisp lines. I think I just file for a little. Oh, and then I file the edges of her nails to make sure that they are straight, and things like that. To stay in the camera, in view of the camera, I just filed like this. Usually I normally don't file like that. I turn the client's hand just to make sure. And then after this, I'm gonna go in with a carbide bit, and this one is not a safety bit. If you are new to filing with one of these and you don't know how to use a hand file, please be very, very careful. I would not recommend this bit because again, it is not a safety bit. At this point, I think I have the file at either 5 or 4,000 RPMs, and I'm just going around making sure that I close up any spots that I may have left open from applying the acrylic. And you just want to go in like one motion. You don't want to go the other way, because it can cause some damage and can cause you to mess up your client's nails. Now I think I've sped up the speed to about maybe between 7,000 and 9,000 RPMs right now, and I'm just making sure that my nails have a great shape. So you want to make sure that there's no lumps, bumps, or anything like that, making sure you still keep your apex intact and that you're a little bit thinner around or at the edge of the nail, the tip of the nail. When you leave your nails a little bit too thick, that can cause lifting. If your apex is not in the right spot, that can cause lifting. So you just want to kind of make sure that, you know, around the cuticle area, that it blends in to that edge, because when they do grow out, if your apex again is not in the right spot, it will cause early lifting when they run into things, and or it could cause their nail to snap, and you kind of don't want your clients' nails to, you don't want them to come in missing like 3 or 4 nails or anything like that. So I'm just making sure that I go around, making sure that I blend that in. Again, there's no lumps and bumps on your nail. The thumb does take a little bit longer because I added a little bit of clear that I shouldn't have. So it does take a little bit of filing. In this step, I believe I'm going about 7,000 to 9,000 RPMs. I'm not too sure. I usually, whatever I feel comfortable with at that time, or whatever I feel like I need to get the product off, that's what I'll use. But after this, I did not show any nail art. Alright guys, so that's going to be the end of this set. If you did like this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. But like I said, that's going to be it, and this is going to be the final product. Thanks for watching.